Libra, my dear friend, let me tell you right from the start, the universe and the divine are aligning to bring you a very specific, very powerful sign. In the house you call home, a tall man is coming. This is not a random encounter, not a passing moment. It is a turning point that signals the closing of an old cycle and the opening of a completely new chapter in your life. Whether this tall man is a literal person with presence and stature, or a symbolic figure representing discipline, clarity, and authority, his arrival is a cosmic invitation for you to step fully into your self-respect, your boundaries, and your light. You have reached the moment where you can no longer keep the peace at the expense of your soul, and now, destiny is asking you to choose yourself without hesitation. I want you to pause for a moment and really feel the weight of this question. Are you ready to protect your light and open the door only to what honors and uplifts you? Because when you do, you will discover that this is not just about who comes into your home, but who you allow into your heart, your mind, and your sacred energy. The universe, through this message, is showing you that you have more power than you may realize, the power to decide who gets access to your inner world and on what terms. Here at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, I believe nothing happens by accident. The fact that you are here, right now, means this message was meant for you. You have been drawn to this reading because your soul is ready to hear it, your spirit is ready to act on it, and your future is ready to transform because of it. This is the moment when the threads of your past, your present, and your unfolding future are weaving together into a single, clear pattern. Your boundaries define your freedom, and your self-respect shapes the opportunities that arrive. Before we go any further, I invite you to type in the comments, "I choose fairness for myself," as a declaration to the universe that you are ready to step into alignment with your worth. This single act sends a ripple of energy out into the unseen, telling your spiritual guides, your angels, and the forces that work in your favor that you are prepared for the shift. Today's sacred number for you is 7, the number of divine protection and enlightenment, reminding you that every event, every visitor, every sign is part of a higher plan created for your good. Take a deep breath and let that sink in. This is your chance to reclaim your personal space, not only in the physical sense of your home but also in the emotional and spiritual sense of your life. When you set the tone for what is welcome in your space, you send a clear message to the universe: I will only accept what respects me, supports me, and helps me grow. And when that happens, everything begins to shift. Relationships adjust, opportunities refine themselves, and even the challenges you face start to align with your growth rather than weigh you down. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for your presence here. Every like, every comment, every share, and every subscription doesn't just connect you more deeply with the Zodiac Whisper Tarot family, it fuels this channel and allows me to continue delivering transformative messages like this one to you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your incredible support. It is your engagement and your energy that make it possible for me to bring forward these readings that guide, heal, and empower. And believe me, Libra, you will want to stay with me until the very last moment of today's message, because what the universe is about to reveal is truly remarkable. It will not only open your eyes to the truth of where you stand now, but also to the extraordinary path that lies ahead when you choose yourself without apology. So tell me, my loyal Libra, what do you think has drawn you here today? Is it curiosity, a whisper of recognition in your heart, or the quiet knowing that you are ready for the next chapter? Share it with me in the comments. Your story might be the very message another Libra needs to hear right now. There's a reason why, in astrology, the concept of home is far more than bricks and walls. For Libra, your home is not just where you live, It is the sacred foundation of your emotional balance, the place where your inner scales are set each day. It is the private space where your energy resets, where you nurture your mind and heart, and where you decide how much of yourself you will share with the world. When your home energy is aligned, every other part of your life from your relationships to your work naturally falls into place. But when that space becomes unsettled, when it no longer feels like your own sanctuary, it can quietly tip the balance of your entire being. In recent months, your natural kindness, your deep sense of courtesy, and your longing to preserve peace may have led you to yield more than you should. Perhaps it began subtly, a compromise here, a silence there, until it became a pattern of endurance, what I call the quiet agreement to bear the weight. This is the danger for Libra. In your quest to keep the scales steady for everyone else, you can lose sight of whether they are still steady for you. And when the weight of keeping the peace starts to cost you your own peace, something vital begins to fade within. The tarot card of justice mirrors this exact moment. It shows us the scales not as a fixed symbol, but as a living measure that must be readjusted often. Right now, those scales have been leaning heavily towards self-sacrifice. The universe, through the archetype of justice, is asking you to notice where you've been overgiving, overcompromising, or allowing your boundaries to blur in the name of harmony. This is not about blame, it's about recognition. You cannot change the balance without first seeing how far it has tilted. In numerology, this lesson is amplified by the interplay between the number 6 and the number 1. 6 represents harmony, home, and family, beautiful values that sit at the heart of a Libra's nature. But when 6 is out of alignment, it can slide into codependency or over-responsibility for others' comfort. The number 1, on the other hand, calls you back to the healthy self, independence, clarity, and personal leadership over your life. It's a reminder that in order to truly honor the harmony you love, you must stand firmly in your own identity. Right now, your growth comes from moving your 6 back into alignment by anchoring it with a strong 1. Color energy can help you feel this shift on a daily level. Soft light blue speaks to your need for calm clarity. It soothes your nervous system and opens your voice to express truth without aggression. Golden yellow brings in the frequency of self-worth, confidence, and the warmth of knowing you deserve the same care you extend to others. Surrounding yourself with these colors in your clothing, your workspace, your home decor can work subtly yet powerfully to support your realignment. Think of this season as an invitation to reclaim your home energy, both literally and symbolically. This might mean rearranging your space so it reflects who you are now, or it might mean having a much-needed conversation that redefines the rules of engagement with those you live with. It could be as simple as setting aside time each day where your home is a place of uninterrupted rest and restoration. The act of consciously tending to your space is not indulgence, it is essential maintenance for your inner balance. And if you've been feeling that keeping the peace has been costing you too much, know that the power to reset is already in your hands. Every choice you make about who enters your space, how your time is used, and where your energy flows is a choice to keep your scales in balance. In this way, home becomes more than shelter, it becomes a reflection of your self-respect and a compass for every other part of your life. When the foundation is steady, the rest of your world can stand tall. Sometimes, life sends its messages in the most unexpected forms, and one of those forms could very well be a persona presence that feels distinct the moment it enters your space. The image of a tall man coming into your home can be interpreted in many ways, and each layer carries its own weight. On the most literal level, this could be someone physically tall, someone with noticeable stature or authority, a new neighbor moving in next door, a landlord checking in, a manager visiting, or even a guest tied to someone close to you. These encounters may seem ordinary on the surface, but they often hold a deeper undercurrent, a quiet test of how you handle shifts in your environment. On a symbolic level, the tall man represents masculine energy, not in a gendered sense, but in the qualities traditionally associated with the divine masculine: discipline, structure, decisiveness, and clarity. This is the kind of energy that comes to knock on your door when it's time to examine the strength of your boundaries. Are you still bending out of habit, or have you learned to stand firmly in what you know is right for you? Encounters like this can be a mirror, showing you whether you've been protecting your peace or letting it erode in the name of keeping things smooth for others. Then there is the layer of destiny. In this sense, the tall man could be a guide, an ally, or even a pivotal influence meant to appear at the precise moment you are reclaiming the dignity of your personal space. It might be someone who opens a new door for you, literally or figuratively, a person who recognizes your worth and treats it as non-negotiable. The universe often sends such figures into our lives as a response to the energetic signal we've been sending out. When you shift your internal standards, when you declare through both word and action that your time, energy, and presence are valuable, the people who arrive in your life will reflect that truth. This is where the law of attraction quietly steps in. It's not about controlling who shows up, but about aligning yourself so clearly with your values that only the right energies can cross your threshold. You set the tone, and life matches it. If your home, your inner sanctuary, is infused with self-respect, clarity, and a refusal to accept less than mutual respect, the opportunities and people who arrive will carry those same qualities. The tall man becomes less a random visitor and more a signpost, marking that you are attracting experiences aligned with your growth. It's worth pausing to consider how you might respond if tomorrow someone knocked on your door, not just with a message or an invitation, but with an unspoken question about where your boundaries lie. Would you welcome them without hesitation? Would you take a moment to discern their intention? Or would you feel a shift inside, realizing this is your chance to practice standing in your truth? I often think about how, in daily life, these moments mirror the lessons we read about but rarely slow down to live. They are like the parables woven into the rhythm of our days, gentle reminders that each interaction is a seed. In busy seasons, it's easy to overlook them, yet they are the moments that determine the health of our relationships and the quality of our inner peace. If you can treat such encounters as both practical and symbolic, addressing the reality while also acknowledging the message, you begin to see them as part of a larger choreography. The arrival of this tall man, in whatever form he takes, is not just about the knock at your door. It's about the readiness of your heart to say, "This is who I am, this is what I stand for, and this is how I will allow life to meet me." When you can answer in that way without fear, without shrinking, you transform the meeting from a simple event into a confirmation of your own growth. And that, Libra, is how a visitor becomes a milestone. It is often in the quietest moments that the most profound shifts take place, and right now, Libra, you are standing in one of those sacred pauses. The message is clear. The chapter where you kept the peace at the cost of your own light is ending. There is no need to carry the weight of harmony on your shoulders alone. The balance that defines you as a Libra cannot be sustained by self-sacrifice forever. It is restored when you decide that your well-being is just as important as the comfort of those around you. Picture the scales of your life being gently but firmly reset, no longer tipping endlessly toward the side of giving without receiving. This is where the intervention of protective forces becomes more than just a comforting idea, it is a felt reality. The image of Archangel Michael cutting away cords is a powerful metaphor for what is happening within you now. These cords are not punishments or debts you must repay. They are simply attachments that no longer vibrate with the frequency of who you are becoming. Releasing them is not about rejection or judgment, it is about love, the deepest kind of love, the kind that refuses to let you stay in places that diminish you. Think of it as a door being opened, not pushed shut. What lies on the other side is freedom, clarity, and the space to grow in ways you could not while you were bound. There is an art to learning how to say no without guilt, and it is one of the most liberating skills you will ever master. Saying no is not an act of aggression, it is an act of alignment. It is a way of declaring that your time, your energy, and your presence are precious resources, and you are choosing to invest them where they can thrive. Start by noticing the small moments where you feel drained, and give yourself permission to step back. It could be as simple as limiting how often you engage in conversations that leave you unsettled, or setting clear time boundaries for activities that pull you away from what truly matters. Over time, these small no's build the framework for a life filled with meaningful yes. Just as seasons change, so too do the cycles of our personal lives. In the same way that we prepare our homes and habits for a new season, we must also prepare our inner lives when it is time for transition. There is wisdom in understanding that everything has its time. This moment, this precise intersection of endings and beginnings, is your time to reclaim the sanctity of your own space. That space may be physical, emotional, or both, but in either case, it is where your light shines most naturally. As you step into this phase, it can help to remember that divine timing has a way of arranging everything we need exactly when we are ready for it. Even if the letting go feels uncertain, trust that you are not stepping into emptiness, but into a life that fits you better. Let the image of those scales returning to perfect balance be your guide, a reminder that harmony is not the absence of conflict, it is the presence of truth. You have spent enough time dimming your glow for others. Now is the time to walk with an open heart, a steady hand on your boundaries, and a deep knowing that the universe supports you in choosing yourself. When life begins to feel lighter after a period of emotional weight, it's often because you've made the quiet but powerful decision to reclaim your boundaries. For you, Libra, boundaries are not walls that shut people out, they are the framework that keeps your relationships honest, balanced, and nourishing. They protect the harmony you value so deeply, not by avoiding conflict, but by ensuring that peace is real and not just a surface illusion. Restoring your boundaries now is an act of self-respect and also a gift to those around you, because it teaches them how to meet you in a place of mutual care. Loving yourself without conditions is the natural next step in this healing. It means releasing the role of emotional referee for everyone in your life. You are not responsible for managing other people's moods, smoothing over their discomfort, or carrying the unspoken weight of their expectations. Unconditional self-love is about recognizing that your worth does not depend on how much you give or how well you keep everyone else happy. It comes from knowing you are enough exactly as you are. This shift doesn't make you colder, it actually frees you to be warmer, more present, and more authentic in the moments that matter. From this place of self-respect, you can practice conscious consent not just in romantic relationships, but in every interaction. Anyone who crosses the threshold of your home, and especially the doorway to your heart, should do so with clarity, mutual agreement, and respect. You get to decide who and what has access to your time, your energy, and your space. This is not about suspicion or closing off, it's about being intentional, so your life becomes a place where you truly want to be. There are simple daily actions that can help you anchor this transformation. Begin your mornings with 5 to 10 minutes of meditation, repeating the affirmation, "I choose fairness for myself." Let it sink into your mind and body until it feels like second nature. Keep your physical space in harmony by letting in natural light, burning incense, or lighting a candle, and using sound like a gentle bell or chimito clears stagnant energy. You might be surprised how much your mood and focus improve when your surroundings are clear and uplifting. Establish clear household agreements if you share your living space. Respect for each other's time, privacy, and contributions creates an environment where everyone can relax and feel safe. Even small rules, like quiet hours or fair cost sharing, can transform the atmosphere from tense to peaceful. Your healing also extends to caring for your physical body. Stress can take root in your muscles, digestion, and sleep patterns without you noticing. Practice deep breathing exercises to slow your heart rate, add magnesium-rich foods or supplements to your diet to ease tension, and stay hydrated to keep your energy stable throughout the day. In your work, pay attention to areas where you felt stuck. This could be a signal that it's time to explore new directions or invest in learning a skill that excites you. Professional growth is not just about earning more, it's about aligning what you do each day with the life you want to live. Financially, creating a detailed budget can be empowering rather than restrictive. Set aside a small emergency fund so unexpected events don't destabilize you. Even modest, consistent savings can create a sense of security that frees you to make better choices. And in love, allow yourself to express your feelings naturally while holding on to your standards. You do not need to lower them to keep someone close. The right connection will honor those standards and even encourage you to raise them higher. Each of these actions, though small on their own, becomes a thread in the tapestry of your healing. Together, they weave a life where you are centered, respected, and free to thrive. When you tend to your boundaries, your self-love, and your conscious choices, you create a home inside and out that reflects the truest version of you. There comes a moment when you realize that every door you open should feel like an invitation to alignment, not a compromise. This is the threshold you now stand upon, Libra. The arrival of the tall, or high-ranking, man is not simply about a person, but about a pivotal turning point in your story. It represents the contract you are about to sign with yourself, one written not on paper but in the way you choose to live each day. That contract has one non-negotiable clause: your dignity comes first. No relationship, no opportunity, no promise is worth dimming your light or bending your truth. When your home, both the physical walls you live within and the inner sanctuary of your heart, is protected, something extraordinary happens. Without effort or force, every connection around you begins to shift into its rightful place. Relationships that cannot honor your boundaries will naturally fade, while those built on mutual respect will flourish. It is like tending a well-kept garden. Weeds do not need to be fought aggressively, because they cannot thrive in the healthy soil you've cultivated. This is how balance returns to a Libra life, quietly, steadily, and with an elegance only you can embody. In this phase, the energy you carry is everything. Surround yourself with colors that amplify your new vibration. White silver cleanses and reflects light, acting as a shield against anything that would disturb your peace. Turquoise green balances the heart and mind, reminding you that love and logic can coexist, and that the most powerful choices are those that nourish both. These are not just aesthetic touches, they are subtle but potent signals to your subconscious, telling it that you are now living in a space of clarity and balance. The tarot closes this chapter with the World, a card of completion, wholeness, and stepping into a new cycle. It tells you that you have traveled the full circle through the lessons, the letting go, the healing, and you now stand ready to begin again, not as the same person you were, but as someone wiser, stronger, and freer. The World does not promise that life will suddenly be without challenge, but it does affirm that you have gained the mastery to meet whatever comes next with grace. This is the graduation moment of the soul, the reward for having chosen yourself in ways that once felt impossible. There's a truth about these thresholds: they rarely come with fanfare. You may not see fireworks or hear applause. Instead, the shift will show itself in quieter ways: conversations that flow more easily, mornings that feel lighter, the absence of the tension you didn't realize you were carrying. It's in the way you say no without guilt, the way you welcome new opportunities without fear, the way your home feels like a place you can truly rest. These small, consistent signs are proof that you've stepped into the new agreement with yourself, and the universe is honoring it. So as you stand here, look around at your life and see it as the sacred space it is. Every door you close now is an act of faith in what is coming. Every door you open is a conscious choice to allow in only what matches your worth. The tall man at your door may be literal, symbolic, or both, but the real arrival is the version of you that no longer waits for permission to honor your own boundaries. If you can feel the shift already stirring within you, acknowledge it now. Speak it into the air, write it in your journal, or place it in the comments as a seal to your new beginning. I welcome opportunities that match my worth into my home and my heart. That simple declaration is not just words, it is the vibration that will call in exactly what you are ready for. And Libra, you are more ready than you know. Libra, as we come to the close of this journey together today, take a moment to reflect on where we began and how far you've traveled in just this short time. We started by looking honestly at the imbalances you've carried, those moments when you silenced your truth just to keep the peace, when you shouldered the weight of harmony alone. You've recognized the signs the universe has been sending, the gentle but persistent nudges telling you it's time to draw a clear line in the sand and honor your own light. You've learned that boundaries are not walls to keep love out, but the sacred frame that allows real love to thrive. And from there, you've stepped into the opening of a brand new cycle, one where you are no longer shrinking to fit, but expanding into your full presence. Remember this truth: you do not have to beg for love, Libra. You invite it naturally by the standards you live by each day. The way you treat yourself sets the frequency of what is allowed to enter your space. When you embody self-respect, clarity, and trust in your worth, love that mirrors those qualities cannot help but find you. It's not a question of if, it's a matter of when. And when it becomes much sooner than you think when you keep showing up for yourself in the little, everyday choices. So I want you to carry this forward into your days ahead. Let your home, both the one made of bricks and the one within your heart, be a place where only respect, clarity, and uplifting energy are welcome. Let your relationships be anchored in truth, where you never have to dim your fire to make someone else comfortable. And when opportunities knock, open the door only if they align with the contract you've made with yourself. My dignity first, always. Now I'll ask you, Libra, what will you choose from here? Will you allow yourself to live by the higher standard you know you deserve? Will you let go of what feels heavy, even if it's familiar, to make room for what feels aligned? Will you trust that the universe and the angels walking beside you will guide each step toward exactly what's meant for you? These are the questions that shape the next chapter of your life. If this message has touched you, I want you to pause for a moment and seal it with your own words. Write it in the comments. I welcome opportunities that match my worth into my home and my heart. By speaking it, by putting it into the world, you give it life. You tell the universe you are ready, and that readiness is powerful beyond measure. I also want to thank you deeply for being here with me, for allowing Zodiac Whisper Tarot to be a part of your journey today. Every like, every comment, every subscription is not just support, it's a way of keeping this circle of energy flowing so these messages can reach those who need them most. Your presence here matters more than you know, and your engagement is the heartbeat of this community. So if you felt something shift inside you today, if you caught even the smallest glimpse of the life you could be living, I encourage you to stay connected. Like this video to keep the energy moving. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you'll be here for the next message meant just for you. Share it with another Libra, or anyone who might be standing on their own threshold, ready for change. Because what we plant together today, the seed of self-respect, of clarity, of choosing yourself, will bloom in ways that surprise you. Until we meet again, may your home be filled with peace, your heart with certainty, and your path with timely doors opening exactly when they're meant to. You are not walking alone, Libra. You are walking in alignment, and that is the most powerful place you could ever be.